Hello everyone and welcome to another movie review. Today I'm going to talk about a film called Prometheus. If you do not know, the film is directed by Ridley Scott, who directed the original Alien film. Now, I liked Prometheus, but then I also had some problems with it. Let me tell you a little bit about the plot of Prometheus before I tell you my opinion of the film. Prometheus basically picks up with these crew of people, and they're in Scotland, and they find these caves where there's these drawings all over these caves, and I'll try not to say too much because I don't want to give away spoilers. But anyways, they find all these drawings all over these caves, and they want to find their makers, and by makers I mean they want to find out who created the humans, the whole mythology behind all that, and they want to find our engineers, our makers, who created the human beings. So they believe that these makers have sent them an invitation, so they decide to go look further into the invitation by going off into outer space and looking into the maker's universe. That's pretty much the gist of Prometheus. Now, let me tell you some of the things that I liked about the film, because there are a lot of things that I'll be honest, I didn't like. Now, let me say that I have seen the film about twice now. I saw it once Friday and I saw it once today. I do like the film the second time around. Now, here are some of the things I liked about Prometheus. One, I really liked the concept of Prometheus, the whole mythology behind the aliens, and just the whole reason of their being, and very ambitious film, shall I say. Very, very cool concept. I like that a lot about Prometheus. There are also some kind of cool and interesting visuals that I didn't expect going into the film of Prometheus that I liked a lot. My favorite parts of Prometheus, I won't say what happens, but I really like the opening of Prometheus, and I really like the ending of Prometheus. The very end and the opening of Prometheus are probably my favorite parts. Here are some of the problems that I had with Prometheus. There are a lot of unanswered questions, and if you look into the plot a little bit of Prometheus, if you go on like Wikipedia and you look and do a little research on the film, you'll see that they say that the interviews that Ridley Scott has said, they directly leave things unanswered in the film. That way it can be answered in a sequel to Prometheus. So maybe we'll be seeing a sequel to Prometheus here in the next few years. Maybe nothing is confirmed yet. Anyways, there seem to be a lot of unanswered questions. I mean, I got most of what was going on, but there was a lot of things that I also didn't get because of a lot of things they left unanswered. Another thing that I had a problem with Prometheus was I was expecting something different. I guess when I walked into seeing Prometheus, I guess I was expecting more of a horror film, when Prometheus has bits of horror in it, but at the end of the day, it's more of a sci-fi. It is kind of a sci-fi horror, but at the end of the day, it's more of just a science fiction movie than a horror film. And I guess going into it, I was expecting something a little different. I also kind of thought the movie was a little slow at times. Not too slow. The first hour or so is pretty good, but there's a few, no offense to people who like it, I don't mean to offend you, but there's a few parts in the movie where it seemed a little slow to me, but for the most part, it was pretty good on its pacing. Now, I will say that I did like the movie. Don't get me wrong, I liked Prometheus. It's just my main problem with the movie was that, just so you know, if you're going into Prometheus thinking you're going to see an Alien film, if you're a big fan of the Alien franchise, you might be a little disappointed with this one. Now, you may go into it loving it, don't get me wrong. But it seems that it's getting pretty decent reviews. Not like amazing, but it's getting pretty positive reviews online. You either love or you hate the film, kind of thing. Me, I'm kind of mixed in between. I thought it was decent. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. There are some things I really liked about it. Like I said earlier, I really liked the concept. There's some pretty cool, interesting visuals in it that I wasn't expecting. But as the film for itself, it was just okay. But the best thing about it is definitely the opening, the ending, and just the whole mythology behind, the aliens and, our makers, and that whole kind of thing was just very interesting in the film. I also thought that in Prometheus they could have played up on a few more characters. I won't say who, but there's about 2 characters in the movie that I thought they could have played more up on. They could have given those 2 characters a little more depth because by the end of the movie, I was wondering about the characters, what were their intentions and stuff like that. I just, I couldn't get that by what the movie, like I said earlier, unanswered questions kind of comes into play here. They could have played up more on two characters in the film, given them a little more depth. I may have liked the movie more. I also want to say one more thing about Prometheus. I was expecting a little more blood in there. I know previously, before the film came out, that Ridley Scott and Fox, 20th Century Fox, were having a big deal about whether or not the film was going to be PG-13 or rated R. There was a huge deal about that. They want to do PG-13 to make more profit, make more money, reach a wider, kind of teenage audience, reach a wider audience. And with a rated R film, you're going to reach less audience because, less people see it. Well, anyways, with that said, Prometheus was rated R, but not that I'm trying to be a gorehound. I kind of am, but I'm not anything about that. There wasn't too much blood there. I was expecting, I guess you could say, I was expecting more carnage in Prometheus, and that's not what I got with Prometheus. I was expecting, there are bloody scenes in Prometheus, don't get me wrong. There are some gore scenes, and when there's gore there, I like it. And I'll be honest, I think if there was more carnage, more, I guess you could say more going on in the movie, I probably would have liked Prometheus more if there was more kind of blood, and just if there was more, if there was more killing and just more going on in Prometheus. But Prometheus was one of those kind of slow burn kind of movies where just something happens here, and then, something happens here, and that's not what I got with the movie. Anyways, back to the review. But the execution was just kind of eh. Anyways, should you see Prometheus, you should see it. It's not a must-see, but you definitely should check it out. Not an amazing film, but like I said earlier, if you're going to and expecting an alien film, you might be a little disappointed because it's totally different than anything. There are, I will say, I'm not going to try to give away anything, but there are, if you've seen the original Alien, there are similarities between both those films in the way things play out. There are similarities, but as a film itself, it's entirely different. So, really hard to compare them. I was going into it expecting an alien film, and that's not what I got. So, anyways, that's my review of Prometheus. Like, comment, subscribe to my page below, and I'll see you guys later with another DVD review.